company was organized in 1994 due to a series of fires that occurred in the community, and I'm a charter member. A bunch of citizens, we got together and then raised the money for the current facility. The facility we are now in is more or less a garage. It was built in 1996 and it's 40 by 80 feet. It's designed to have 4 pieces of apparatus parked inside of it, and we've grown and our services have grown over the years, and now we have 6 pieces of apparatus parked inside. With 6 pieces of apparatus parked inside the structure, we actually have to move some units out to get others to respond. And of course, response time is very critical when you're dealing with an emergency in the community. For an example, we have to pull the ambulance out to get our attack truck out, and that vehicle is primarily used for brush fires. To get our 3rd ambulance out, we have to move a pumper outside and then maneuver the vehicle back and forth to get it outside.
As a driver pump operator, it gets tricky when you have firefighters trying to get on the engine. When we have a call, the doors only open so far because of the gear racks and where they're located.
When a call comes out, they'll come running around this side, and whatever rack they're in, they have to pull their gear off and literally stand right here and get dressed. You put your pants on, and pull them up, and then you're putting your coat on. And as you can see, I'm shoulder to shoulder here, so it's hard to put your coat and stuff on, and then you step onto the apparatus. And then of course when you get off the apparatus, you're doing the same thing. You're actually down dressing right here.
Most fire stations that you go into, there is enough room for storage of at least the protective clothing for the firefighters. At our station, because we have so many newer members that have come in the last few years, we ran out of that space. So we actually have people that have their protective clothing that's assigned to them stored in a shed outside. So in essence, what happens when we have a call for an alarm for an EMS or a fire incident is those persons have to run through the building, go outside, open the shed up, put their gear on, run around the building, and then we hold the trucks up and wait for them to get on board.
It takes the firefighters longer to get on the fire truck, so you have to make sure that everybody's on before you pull the apparatus out. Sometimes it's better to pull the apparatus out, but you have to wait for your air brake system to come up and make sure you have proper air brake pressure. So again, you're wasting time constantly because we have such limited space in this building.
When we have extreme cold, like in the months of January, we have some issues that occur with the apparatuses parked outside. One of those is in the rear of one of our medic units, where there's possibility of the drugs freezing. To avert that from occurring, we put a space heater in the back of that unit. Along with the heavy rescue that's parked outside, it's got air packs that firefighters wear inside of buildings, and in those air packs there are rubber O-rings that expand and contract with heat and cold. It becomes so cold sometimes that those O-rings actually break, much like what happened with the space shuttle when it blew up years ago in Florida. When we have heavy snowstorms, we'll end up with 8 to 12 people sleeping here in the station. Most of those people will sleep on either a cot between the apparatus and the 2 or 3 bunks that we have in back, on the couches, and even last year we had people that slept on the hose beds of the trucks and on the back steps.
Last winter we were expecting snow, and so Chief will call and ask for anyone who can come up to the station, because for us to travel from our homes here in the middle of the night in a snowstorm is even more treacherous. So we come up and sleep wherever we can. And I, because I'm a senior citizen, I bring my blow-up mattress. Well, we got a call during the first night, and we took the ambulance, and it was a car that had gone off the road. We had to pull the person out and take them to the hospital, and come back in after driving. So evidently there was clumps of snow and stuff under the ambulance. So I had put my blow-up bed like right beside the ambulance. So about the middle of the night, I feel myself moving, and it was a couple of the young firefighters, and they were pulling my bed out of the water. I started to float away, and so they were fishing me out. So we have no sleeping facility, we have no shower facility, we have no cooking facility, and we have no air conditioning. So when it's 100 degrees outside, it sometimes is 105 5 in here. This is a corrugated building.
It gets very hot here in the summertime. It's been some days in the summer where it's been up to 105, 108, 110 degrees. I think it's about the highest that it's been in the station.
There's no grocery stores within the area. We have no kitchen facilities, no way to really prepare food. We have bought meals, ready-to-eat meals that are military style that you may have seen or heard of. And we keep a stockpile of those type of meals here to feed 12 people for 3 days.
Our kitchen facility is me bringing an electric skillet and setting it up on a card table in front of one of the apparatuses. When we have breakfasts on the weekend when I do my duty shift, the way we clean up, the outside front tarmac is the kitchen where we clean. So using a garden hose along with some soap and water is how we clean things. So other people take for granted that you have a kitchen, you have a dishwasher, you have hot water. We lack those facilities here. Same thing with the laundry facilities. If I go out and get dirty or I get something on me like gasoline or something that's not good for me, I have no way to clean myself here other than through the garden hose.
It gets a little tricky with the garden hose when it's 20 degrees outside washing your hair. Sometimes you tend to skip the conditioner and just move on with the shampoo on that instance.
All the apparatus in the station is powered by diesel motors, which of course have the diesel smoke, which has carcinogens in it. These carcinogens infiltrate all the protective clothing the firefighters wear, as well as the bunk beds and the bedding that the volunteers bring from home with them. It also infiltrates everything in the station, including even the couches that we sit on.
We actually had one call one night where we went out and there's a fire in a prison. One of the things I did observe while we had that call was that the prisoners had a lot better living conditions that we had even at the station. They had housing that was far better than ours. They had, the ability to cook food. They not only had that, but also the ability to shower, laundry, stuff that we could use at the station, but we don't have. For example, I've seen guys who, 2 or 3 of them on the couch, 4 of them on cots, air mattresses, sleeping back on the bunks where the bottom bunk is the only one able to be used, while the top bunk has to hold a bucket because rainwater gets in through the ceiling, and we have to keep a rain bucket right there. It was really eye-opening to see how prisoners can have a better living situation than, say, volunteer firefighters.